So there's one Tamil song in it, right, which is the Can I love me? I don't know, I can't speak Tamil. But originally that was the Hindi version, right, which is Can I hear kya? Something like that.
Yeah.
But my very good Tamil friend, she was like, the Tamil version means a lot more to Tamil people than the Hindi version means to Hindi people.
Yeah.
So she was like, she thinks that a lot of Tamil people would appreciate it. I was like, I mean, do you know best?
Yeah. Look. Yo, look.
Right. Welcome back to Off Topic. Yeah, we got another special guest today, Wale.
Come on.
How you doing, bro? How you doing today?
I'm doing cool, man. How you guys doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good.
Stupid Friday.
Yeah. Just before you jump in, obviously introduce yourself. Tell them what you do, what you study.
I'm Wale. Go by some call me Wale when it comes to the music. I study management, Warwick, third year. About to graduate and be out here. You know what I'm saying?
Let's go.
Yeah, that's really what. That's really what it comes down to. Yeah, to be honest. Yeah,
definitely. Yeah, we've got a lot of interesting stuff to talk about today. Music, obviously, big part of your life.
That's my thing.
Yeah, and yeah, obviously before we jump in, obviously make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit the like button if you do like the
check
content.
out all of Wale. We'll put social everything.
We'll put all his links in the description, so make sure you
check
check him out. Obviously, and yeah, hopefully you stick to the end. And yeah, let's jump right into it.
Cool.
So before we jump into the music, how's your degree treating you? How's that going?
Do you know what?
Is a techie topic.
So let me even explain how we got to this degree in it, because it wasn't like oh my gosh, I want to do management. So what had happened was, right, so I was meant to be studying engineering.
Really?
Like, fun fact, yeah, because so when I was younger, to this day, right, one of my big passions is cars, innit? I'm about the cars, innit? Need for Speed changed me. Do you know what I'm saying? So my family, being a family of engineers, they were like, oh, if you love cars, do engineering. So we were like, that makes sense. So I even did maths and physics for A level. Like, I was just maths in it. But then halfway through A levels, when we did the work experience, I did work experience with my uncle, and I was like, I can't do this. So I was like, what am I gonna do now, innit? Like, my whole life is engineering. So then it was a mad thing, innit? But I was like, okay, do you know what? Let me just do management at work, innit? No, let me do management because it's not so far away from like music that I'll drop out, but it's not so close to music that I could just stay home and do the music.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I chose management, and then Warwick was actually because at the time, my girl at the time was gonna go to Cov, innit? So I was like, I mean, work is close by, might as well.
Makes sense.
And now I'm here.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, that's good. But so when you started doing management at uni, so was it always in your mind that you wanted to drop out later on and then like dive into music, or?
I think the more, so as the years have gone by, the clearer I've been on what I want to do and how I want to get there. So I always sort of knew that at some point I want to focus on music full time, innit? The route to getting there was always hazy, but I think as I've done more music, as the years gone by, it's been like, I now know how I sort of want to get there. So the plan always was that at some point, my bills would be paid through music.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? That's always at the end goal, just when I get there, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're doing really well.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm trying. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm trying. It's it's a thing.
Yeah.
This music thing is a thing. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But thank you, man. I'm trying.
No, but so based on what I've obviously done research, based on what I've seen, you've dropped 2 albums, I think, till now, and you recently dropped a prologue.
Yeah, like a little EP thing.
Yeah, EP thing.
I did.
So, what was your inspiration for the albums? Inspiration for the prologue now?
So, fun fact, I'm even sitting on a whole other album. That was meant to be released in December.
Yeah.
But the whole promo just got COVID came and said, "Well, go on in it." So it was a mad thing. But the 2 albums that I have actually, so Some Call Me Wale is actually my second name. What's the word? Elias, or whatever the word is, isn't it?
Yeah.
The first one was A Taylor, right? Because my other name's Andrew, in it. Before people come and take my government, but actually, in it. But then it was weird because all my my PSN and like my Twitter handles and stuff were all Some Call Me Wale, in it. But my music name was A Taylor for some reason. But I didn't really like that because Andrew was just, I don't think it relates to me as much. So then I changed it from A Taylor to somecallmewale, but all the music that I had under A Taylor became the A Taylor collection, innit? So that was just like a compilation of stuff. And then the lost instrumentals was a bunch of instrumentals that I had on SoundCloud. Because before I jumped to Spotify, I made a lot of music on SoundCloud, and that was like a lot of my remixes and just like my experimental stuff. And then that was like, okay, just a compilation, Spotify, lost instrumentals.
Yeah.
So that's where the 2 albums came from. So there wasn't really like any like concept. So they were just compilations. Then there's a bunch of singles and EPs, I guess. I think the next album or collection of music I want to drop would actually be an album rather than just like a collection of old stuff. Hopefully. But yeah, so like there wasn't really inspiration behind those. They were just compilations of old music that I wanted to put out. Do you know what I'm saying? Because back then I was very lazy with it. Now I'm trying to, be an artist, do like, music videos and stuff.
That must be mad to manage at A-levels, man. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Do you know
That's
what?
Crazy.
Yeah, but I think because my vision was quite small, it wasn't hard to reach it.
Okay,
Do you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, for example, now it's like, okay, cool, I want to make the music which sounds fantastic. I want to do a music video. I want to do promo, this and that. Back then, it was like album cover, drop it. You know, so it was easier to reach that. Now it's
there's a whole lot more.
Do you know what I'm saying? Especially because like nowadays people, I mean, if you're really big, you can. But nowadays people don't drop music without music video.
Yeah.
Like your song, you could have made the song in 5 minutes, but you spent 4 days in music video.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? So it's like.
But do you think the music video holds a lot of weight in regards to like the promotion of the actual song?
Yeah. Like,
Definitely.
because I feel like really and truly, right, whenever you guys see songs that are like advertised, more time you see it advertised through snippets of the video.
Yeah,
Do you get what I'm saying? And I think it's only when you're like as big as like Kendrick Lamar, you can be like, new song tomorrow.
Yeah.
But even then, more time you found out there's a music video, you just never saw it. Do you get what I'm saying? So I feel like nowadays, especially because I feel like people like to see things.
Yeah,
Do you know what I'm saying?
Especially because the level of like what you can go into for a music video is
Do you know what I'm saying?
crazy.
Do you get what I'm saying? And I feel like with artists as well, my belief is that people appreciate the music more when they understand where the music comes from.
Yes.
Do you know what I'm saying? So for example, like so do any of you guys listen to Big Sean?
Yeah.
Right. So I feel that the reason why no one respects Big Sean, right? Even though I think
He's hated on the lot. He is hated on the lot. Yeah, he does have some good bangers.
No,
he does have
I think
decent
Dark
songs.
Sky Paradise album, innit?
Yeah,
That album was
crazy album.
fantastic. But who respects Big Sean? No, people say like, who respects it as an artist? Nobody.
I
Do
don't
you
know
know what
why. I never understand the disrespect towards him. But
do you know what I mean?
he
And
just does.
I feel like it's because when you think of Big Sean as a person, what do you think of?
Yeah, cool.
It's not even him. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, or when you think of Kendrick Lamar as a person, what do you think of?
Money.
Yeah, Money Trees.
Remember that? What's
One
the
of the
music video
goats.
where it was like a 3D kind. Where is?
I don't even know. But for example, when I think about like when I think of people, let's say Rick Ross, right?
Yeah.
His music, but you also think of a lifestyle. You also think of the money or this
Yeah,
and that or
everything.
the image. Right? When you think of Kendrick Lamar, you think of Good Kid, Mad City, coming from the hood, this and that. You know, black rights, blah 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 blah. When you think of Big Sean, what are you thinking of?
To be fair, I think
my ties with Big Sean go deep, so I'm thinking of Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
That's an album though. But as a person, like what image or brand does he have?
True. That's very
Do you
true.
know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? Like, and I feel like that's why it's hard to connect with him. Like even Mac Miller, for example, like you can think of like even the jazz or him just being like a white boy that's not trying to be Eminem, all these sort of things. Do you know what I'm saying? But with Big Sean, is
Well, what do you think of Mac Miller, by the way?
I think he's fantastic. Do you know what I'm saying? I think once he got out of his corny phase, he was fantastic. Because I listened to him back when he was like a youngin. Because I just found him somehow. Like
But his first album is pretty sick. Have you heard Kids? His album, Mac Miller.
I don't know. I don't know if I had that one.
Yeah.
But I just remember like hearing some stuff when he was just mad young, and he just sounded very like young in it. But he was just corny back then, and he was very corny in it. But then I remember he released like a jazz album, and from then I was like, oh,
A whole jazz album.
yeah,
Like, was it like jazz rap interplay?
No,
or
like
was
just
it
jazz,
straight-
bro.
straight-
I rate Mac Miller quite a bit. Like
I've
RP
actually
obviously,
never
but
listened to him.
I respect him. Like I think I respect him as an artist more than I listen to him. If that makes sense.
yeah.
Talk about type of creator. I respect him as an artist more than I listen to him, right? But it's like, so from then I was like, okay, you know, the guy got something different about him, you know. And then he released do you know the pink one with like the mirror thingy?
The swimming pool.
I think
can't
that
remember
one.
the album,
And then
yeah.
he also released the one where it's like white and it's like in a box. So I didn't realize he released those because I just stopped like following him.
Yeah.
And then I went back to them and I was like, oh, this Mac Miller really makes music now.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like even though he's a rapper, like he's like you can tell that he's come into himself as an artist and he's just making that. Because when I even heard what favorite part in it with Ariana Grande, I said, yeah, man, this guy's clear. This guy's clear. So I respect him. Like I like him to be honest. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think yeah.
No, but just coming back to your albums, and obviously you said it's a collection of just
All
past
stuff, yeah.
music, but it's like, so what genre do you want to target when you want to? So obviously you jumped into music, so.
Do you know what? So I wish I could give an answer for that, innit? But unfortunately I don't have one because like even when I think of like let's say the levels that I want to reach, right? The levels that I want to reach are very much like I'm able to do X, Y, and A and B, if that makes sense. So when I think of the music I want to make, I don't really think of like a genre. I just think of like the kind of feelings that I want to emulate when people listen to my music.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. And sometimes that might be grime. Sometimes that will be R&B and sloppy stuff. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, especially because I think me as a person in it, like, when I say music is my thing, yeah, like music is my thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, because even when it comes to listening to music, like obviously growing up, you know, I had the Yoruba music from my mum and my dad. I had my dad and his Luther Vandross and time after time, old music innit, smooth 106 point, wherever it is. Innit? And my mum had the Whitney Houston thing and like Faith Evans. It was like growing up, I had that. Then I'm the youngest in my family, right, of my brothers. So my eldest brother, we lived in like North East London at the time. So back when like grime was popping off and it was like, oh, it's the Merkel man. My brother was them. He was Yemsdot at the time. Innit? Do you know what I mean? So there was grime there. Then my brother listened to like Adele. It was just crazy, innit? Like, so growing up in it, I've just like music has just been my thing. Like, and I think there are not many styles of music that I don't like.
Right.
If that makes sense, or I can't appreciate it. So even now, like I listen to rap music, R&B, Whitney Houston's my babes. G, I'm like listen to all the time. All that old music, 70s music, jazz, country. The Bollywood music, do you know what I'm saying? Like Korean R&B, flipping Japanese city pop, like I don't know, bro, like any listen, like if like I feel like
if it sounds like something you'll listen to it.
Do you know what I'm saying? So I think because of that, and because me as a person, the way I like to make art, right, is just taking what inspires me and trying to emulate that in a new form. Yeah. It's hard for me to collate all of that into one genre. Do you know what I mean? And I don't always feel like sometimes I'm like Skepta, grime, I'm there. The other times I'm like, I'm not even a rapper, bro. Like I just want to sing. Do you know what I mean? So it's like I want to do both, and hopefully I'll be able to build a brand that people understand that I do both. Yeah. Especially because I produce my music as well, innit? So even then, like even if I'm not singing on my own track, I can still help make someone like. Do you know what I'm saying? So so genre, basically, man. But I think
like even tying it back to your previous point, it is like when it does come to music, it's about like curating this image, is sort of like this feeling, this vibe that you want to give people. So when you do end up like focusing on the genre, I feel that like blocks it off as you progress upwards. So when you ground your love or creating art, creating music in a love for music, you don't really need to be boxed off.
Definitely. I feel like it's interesting. Like you take like a really open approach to like music. So you explore different avenues of music, and then as Nastin said, it's like picking a genre from the start and then basing your album off the genre. I feel like you're just limited to that genre, right?
Yeah, and I feel like if any, like no one knows me right now, innit? Do you know what I mean? So if anything, now is the time that I shouldn't be boxing myself. Do you know what I'm saying? So, so I'm just doing whatever I feel like doing at the time. I think even when I first started making music, I wasn't I was rapping as a hobby on the side, but I didn't have a microphone. So I used to make just remixes. So on my SoundCloud, for example, there's bare remixes and like instrumental stuff. So even then, like my roots, like it's weird because like I have roots as a producer, and the idea of producing for people and being like a Pharrell Williams is fantastic. But I also have roots as a rapper because I've been rapping from like 5. So it's like the idea of being a rap like a Kanye. It's crazy, isn't it? But I think my love for music is so great that the idea of sticking to one thing doesn't make sense to me because I just want to be involved in it all. You know, so man,
it's so interesting, like just seeing how talented you are. Like you talk about producing, the ability to rap, freestyle, the ability to sing as well. It's just really impressive.
I can't sing. Do you know what I'm saying?
Based on the songs I've heard, I think you can sing. No doubt you can sing.
But auto-tune, you know what I'm saying? It does a lot. But yeah, no, I've been. It's crazy because it's like obviously for me it's weird because I've spent so long just like cultivating my talent on my own without like any not input without putting it out there. So really and truly, like, I started producing it like when I was like when I was like year 8. I think my dad gave me his old laptop in it, and I found FL Studio pirating because when you're on computers from early in it, you just know how to do these things. I was 11 pirating stuff in it. I don't know what I was doing, but
that's so crazy.
Do you know what I mean? So from then I had FL Studio 9. And I was just trying stuff. I started making dubstep at first. Dubstep. I started making it.
Skrillex.
No, legit, because like in year 8, even now in it, like if you look at my Spotify, you see some dubstep tunes in it. But in year 8, I was a big dubstep head in it.
It was big then. The UKF dubstep was popping back then.
It
was
crazy.
big in dubstep, Skrillex and stuff like that.
Yeah, my Skrillex, like Flux Pavilion, Doctor, all them man in it. Excision, that's whatever, all them man in it. So I was trying to make that, but dubstep is very technical. Yeah. And as the years go by, it stops being just like wob 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 to like actual like soundscape like nonsense in it. And I was like, this is texture. So I was like, let me try the other thing I like, which is R&B stuff. So I started. So what I wanted to do was I'll take like pop songs and try to convert them into like an R&B song. Right. So I don't know if you guys have heard it, but on my SoundCloud, there's a Katy Perry Last Friday Night remix.
No, I've not heard that.
Yeah, but I changed it from Last Friday Night to like a whole 80s ballad sounding thing, innit?
Wait,
so
what?
I just yeah. Do you know what? That was my first experience of marketing, innit? Because there was this guy on SoundCloud who was big for doing that. Like, we'll take like Justin Bieber, make it sound 70s and that, innit? And I must have sent the song to him, and I was like, listen, you inspired me. I beg you listen to it and share it if you like it. He said, say less. Next thing I know, 400k listens. It was crazy.
Oh yeah, I haven't heard the song, but I saw we saw a picture of it. 414k something.
Yeah, and obviously like there's a big numbers in it, but on my SoundCloud, where no one listens to my SoundCloud, do you know what I mean? So it's a mad thing, isn't it? But so I started doing that, and that's when I started like, just making R&B remixes and stuff, and my producing sort of went from there. Because every time I make a remix, I'll try something new in it, and then I got my microphone, try to put them together. But then I had to learn how to mix my own vocal. Crazy. So now I'm here in it. Do you know what I'm saying? With my new microphone, this and that, but it's a journey because I'm producing it myself, recording it myself in my non-audio treated room, then mixing it myself and. Yeah, man, it's wild.
It sounds like so much effort, but at the same time, it's just so crazy. Like, it's so impressive to see you do it. Like all of it.
Like, regardless of what people say, it's not easy to
do all that by yourself.
And the fact that you're doing this on top of a university degree as well, you know, and that's just so impressive to me. Like, it's crazy.
Hopefully, I don't come and fail this degree.
Do you ever find yourself with like not like writer's block equivalent, basically?
Yeah. I think it happens quite often, but I think it would happen less if I didn't have to fill so much mental space of uni.
Yeah,
if that makes sense. Because like it's not even always like I haven't got the time, but it's like, you know, when you haven't got the time to put yourself in the zone of thinking about something else. Do you get what I mean? So, but it does happen. Like, and it's weird because it happens in both ways because I produce and I make the raps in it. So it's like sometimes I'll just be trying to produce something, and it just sounds like arse, man. Like, it just like I'm trying to make something, it just don't sound right. Do you know what I mean? It just doesn't work. Then other times, like you might just have a quick idea, like because a lot of the time I'll think of songs. It sounds very weird in it, but I'll just have an idea of like a completed song in my head, and then it's like, okay, how do I recreate what I heard in my head on the thing in it? And sometimes like it just flows. You know, like for example, I'm currently making a remix. So there's a guy called Roy Jackson. He's a great guy, singer. And me and him worked together on a song before, collaborations. But on this, so now we're friends in it. So with his latest song called like "Get to You Girl," great song. He was like, "Oh, do you guys want to remix it?" And I was like, "Yes," because that's what I used to do back in the day. That was my thing, remixes. So with that one, my first idea for the remix was like a drill thing. Wasn't really banging. I was like, let's go back to 90s R&B. That's all I know in it. Then once I started that, it just flowed, and then I had a whole complete song within like one sitting, which is like 4 hours, 5 hours, but one sitting. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's like sometimes it just flows, sometimes it doesn't. I think when I have an idea of what I want to achieve, it's harder to achieve that. So if I, for example, want to make a song which emulates the feeling of like, I don't know, like you're in a situationship with someone and you do like them, but you're not ready to get into something. that's a very specific emotion.
Yeah.
It's harder to get to that than it is of like, I just want to make something that's fun that rhymes. Do you get what I mean? So it even also depends on like what I'm going for. But yeah, man, it happens. But I think for me, more time, I think because I trust in myself, if I'm having writer's block, I just leave it. Because I'm like,
at some point.
yeah, because I think it's always better to work when the inspiration's there than to force it.
Yeah,
I think when I try to force it, it never works. So I just don't. I just don't.
So on the production front, so it's like there's obviously, so based on what I've seen, obviously, and you see like Drake and OVO and stuff, whatever they do. So like, do you have like knowledge, like instrumental knowledge? So have you learned like different types of instruments? To produce?
So growing up, there was a piano in my house, right?
Right.
Or keyboard. One of the piano different keyboards, right? And I think so. I never realized just how much knowledge I had from that and from messing around in it until I was helping one of my friends who wanted to start producing, and he had no knowledge of anything.
Right.
And what I thought was common knowledge actually wasn't, because even though I didn't know the names, or I did music GCSE, so that taught me a bit, but not much. But like, even though I didn't know like the names of stuff, it's like I worked out, hey, if you press a white note and then another white note, one note away from it, it sounds nice together. If you do it again, it sounds nice together.
Yeah.
So for me, like, I learned what chords was and all these sort of things, without knowing what it was.
There's a theory behind it. Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? So even then, I still had a bit of fear. Like, I knew that, hey, like, if you do a certain chord, not everything is in key after that sort of thing. Like, you can't just go anywhere from anywhere, you know? Well, you can, but that's jazz. But like, you can't go anywhere from anywhere, do you know what I mean? So it's like, I knew all of that. And then that's helped my music a lot because my heart with music has always been in the melodic side to it. Because growing up, it was Whitney Houston, it was this and that, blah, blah, blah. So it was very much the melody side. Obviously, I'm a rap fan. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm there. But I'm very much like the melodies and like the chords and this and that, you know? So it's like, when it came to my producing, like, I was able to just emulate all like the freestyle keyboard I was doing onto the thing. And yeah, so it's like, and I also want to go back and do music theory properly, because I feel like I'm reaching a cap where it's like I don't know how to achieve the certain things I want to achieve because I don't know the theory behind it.
Definitely.
So I want to go back to do jazz theory at some point. Obviously piano theory in general, jazz theory because jazz. And I don't know if it's a theory thing, but I also want to study. Is it called Carnatic? South Asian, like traditional. South Asian.
Say the word again.
Carnatic. I don't know, but I want to study. I don't know if it's the same, but I want to study. Like,
Kathik. Do you mean Kathik?
I think I do.
Yeah, okay.
So my bad. But yeah, because from the traditional sounding like let's say Hindi songs that I've heard, the way they compose music is very different from the way that West people compose music. Yeah. You know,
it's a lot of different instruments as well, right? Because they use the sitar, the tabla, the stuff like that.
Stuff, right? So it's like, and especially because obviously I wouldn't say I listen to Bears. I'm from Nigeria, but I listen to a considerable amount. Being considered I'm from Nigeria, and it's like from when I listen to it, it's like a lot of the time it's just a completely different. What analogy can I use? Have you guys seen Fullmetal Alchemist?
I haven't.
Oh, if you've seen it, the analogy would have been fantastic. But
I'm sure the views would have.
But it's like, how can I put it? It's like, when I listen to it, it's just like, it's the same music. It's the same 12 notes, whatever it is, right? But the way that it's used is so different and revolves around such a different center of theory that is just different. Right. You know? So like, I would like to study that at some point, especially because I love the music. Naturally, I then feel inspired to make some music with that. Do you know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
But to do that, I would need to understand the music. So at some point, I'll have to do that as well. Yeah, and hopefully with those tools, I'll be able to then mix and merge and just create something great and new and help people produce. Because I feel like, I wouldn't know. Do you know what I'm saying? Because I'm not in the circles, but I do hear a lot of people talk. When it comes to, for example, Bollywood music, right?
Yeah.
I hear a lot of people talk about like old Bollywood and new Bollywood. So like old Kanye, new Kanye, right? And I feel like, at least for me, when I listen to it, the stuff that I really love is the more traditional stuff. So like, if for example I could like learn the theory behind it and be able to help like new, let's say like South Asian artists create new music that is reminiscent of the traditional stuff, I think that would be a great thing to do.
Yeah. I feel like a blend of like traditional Indian music, if that's your forte, like, or that's your interest, a blend of that with And if you like experiment that, blend it with like a westernized
R&B,
culture, that would be interesting as well.
Potentially, it could be. I think because I said this before. I think as soon as you get some lyrics on some of your
Then they could bang.
yeah, because remember when I messaged you a few weeks
about the what's that guy called? You told me about like, a certain rapper.
Oh, I forgot now. I can't remember.
But that guy.
Friends of Harami.
Yeah.
Friends of Harami. I promise you,
God.
South Asian music. You slap some lyrics on there.
It will pop
It
off.
pops.
Well, do you know what?
Pops.
The funny thing is, right? So this even relates to the Dear Bollywood Project, right?
Yeah.
So when the way that even started was that it started off with me trying to make rap beats out of them. So I started with Setbacks and Kabi Kushi Kabi Gum, right?
How did you actually get into it?
That's all I want to know. Like, how did he actually stumble upon the song Kabi Kushi Kabi? I know it's a huge song. It's a huge song.
So
Or even the movies, in fact. Like,
so fun fact,
movies,
right?
yeah.
I grew up on Kabi Kushi Kabi Gum. So
Okay, that's interesting.
Fair enough,
There's
fair
a
enough.
large market for Bollywood in Nigeria.
Yeah.
Right. So like I've just always had the movie. Like my mum's even got what's it called? Kabi Alvida.
Kabi Alvida.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my mum's even got like the DVD. Like,
Yeah.
My mum's got DVDs. Do you know what I'm saying? So I actually grew up on that. Like I remember like because we used to watch it like every like 5-6 years or something.
Yeah.
I remember like the second time I remember watching it, I was like 10, and I remember like I had a crush on Kajol for like 3 years.
Yeah.
I think everyone passed that phase.
Right.
No, like, bro, like,
crush on her.
I was even different. Like, I was telling girls, oh, don't shave the monobrow. It's alright. Like, do you know what I mean? But yeah, so I grew up on it, right? So because of that, I've always known of the movie.
Yeah.
But then I think I rewatched it again with one of my friends like 2 years ago or something like that. And then from then I was like, wait. These songs are hard. I knew they were hard in it, but I forgot a lot of them in it. And I was like, no, like these songs are actually like differently hard, innit?
Some of the instrumentals are just like long, and then it's
No,
crazy
Bollywood
how
songs
much
are
effort
crazy.
goes
Like,
into it.
Yeah.
it's amazing.
So I was like, damn. And then obviously, so I must have a lot of South Asian friends, but I have enough to like go on like Bollywood movie nights with and stuff.
Yeah.
So from then we just started getting through a lot of the movies. And then like the music was just hitting my soul because I was like, this is musical genius stuff. Do you know what I mean? Like, this is
genius.
do you know what I mean? Like, so that's how like I essentially got into it. And then I remember there was a phase where I was like going on so many like Bollywood movie nights with some of my friends that I was just the music was just coming in. And obviously one of my friends is even Tamil as well. So like then it's like Tamil movies and Tamil music, which is very different. It's like
very different.
Yeah.
That's
very different.
Anyway, yeah. So yeah, like it was so I just got into it and yeah, man, I just love the stuff. The more traditional stuff. I think the new.
I definitely prefer the older stuff as well.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of the new stuff.
New Bollywood music, I feel like it's a lot more like, what's the word to describe it? It's like it's too party-ish. Like like traditional Bollywood music is not party-ish.
Yeah.
It's like it
have the
can be
party
chilled,
songs.
it can be mellow, and they do have the party songs.
Yeah.
But I feel like every Bollywood song now it's just
like a party.
they have to like connect some dance to something.
I see.
Commercialization.
Definitely, yeah. It's all commercial in it.
It's because it's because like especially with like Bollywood, because it's been for a long time you have the same names producing the same scores for the same for like. It's like a dynasty thing, isn't it?
You have some big names like A.R. Rahman and stuff like that.
Because as these men get older, all these like new gen guys come in, they just can't do it like them.
Can't emulate the same
You
thing.
can't emulate that.
But yeah, that's how I got into it. So even from that, right? So yeah, so I tried to make 2 rap beats out of Siraj Ramadan, right, and Kabakash Kabakam. And I was going calm. This is like very unfinished, right? But then I remember when I was starting to get to a point where like you could see the vision of what I was making. I thought, I am not South Asian. I don't want to then like jump on this beat and rap. Like it's either I jump on the beat and rap about something which relates to South Asians, but I'm not South Asian, so it doesn't make sense.
Right.
Or I rap about something completely unrelated. But I was like, these songs aren't just songs to a lot of people. So like you can't have this one Nigerian boy coming to rap about whatever on the song in it. Like I thought it would just be disrespectful. Yeah. So I was like, okay, do you know what? If I can't rap on them, why don't I just instead of making these rap beats, I make them like instrumental remixes and then make a whole project out of it. That's cat. Remixes. And then my friends were like, oh, why don't you make a project out of it? And I was like, okay, cool. Then I found some more songs. And that's how it happened. Yeah. And yeah, so it's like what 5 songs? 5 songs, yeah. Well 6 songs because so there's one Tamil song in it, right, which is the I don't know, I can't speak Tamil. But originally that was the Hindi version.
right?
Which is something like that.
Yeah.
But my very good Tamil friend, she was like, the Tamil version means a lot more to Tamil people than the Hindi version means to Hindi people.
Yeah.
So she was like, she thinks that a lot of Tamil people would appreciate it. I was like, I mean, do you know best? I don't know, right? So I changed it, and it was mad because when I released it, the amount of Tamil people that were like in my DM saying like, "Raw, like this is my dad's favorite song. Oh, like how did you find this song? Like I used to grow up on this." Like, it was crazy, and
that was me. That was one of like when I found out you were like really interested in Bollywood and stuff. Like my first question was like, "No way, like how? Like
how, man?" Like, yeah. So and I really appreciate that.
You're deep in your knowledge, man.
Yeah, definitely.
I try, man. Yeah. But yes, I love that because it's like it's not my culture. Do you know what I'm saying? These songs aren't my national treasures. Do you know what I'm saying? So when people were like, oh, they really appreciated it and like they loved it, I was like, I've done what I've meant to do. Yeah. Because if everyone turned around and said, "What the hell are you doing?" I would have failed because it's not my. You know what I'm saying? I'm not entitled to that. So that's how that came about. People have been asking for a part 2. I might drop a part 2, you know, because I've got some ideas. Yeah. And some like half finished stuff on my my laptop. Yeah. That's for another time. But yeah, that's how that came about.
You've gone about it so respectfully, because I think, especially like you said, when you go on something like this, you tread the line of potentially being quite disrespectful and come across as like a like cultural appropriation, etc. But honestly, the way you've gone about it is definitely like your intentions are very wholesome. You appreciate the culture, and you just want to do something with it.
Definitely, just vibe with it.
But yeah, I'm glad it comes across that way because I really like, even with the, I don't know if you saw like the paragraph that was on. So when I released it, there was obviously the album cover. And then there was like another one with like a paragraph of like why I made it. Yeah. And even in that, it was like I wanted to make it clear that guys, I know this is not my music.
I don't think your intention would ever come across as you're trying to disrespect it. I feel like it's more like you're appreciating a culture and then taking in, trying to vibe with it, trying to make your own. Yeah.
But yeah, I think to this day, I think that's the project I think the most proud of.
Definitely.
Funny
but honestly, like I said, some of those, you get some lyrics on them. I promise you, there's.
But you know what? That's the thing, though, because I feel like I don't want to rap on them. I don't want to.
Yeah, not you, but maybe find someone.
I know what you mean. It treads like a grey area.
Do you know what I mean?
Like, it's a very fine line.
Yeah, I think if I was South Asian in it, fair enough. But I'm not. Like, you know what I'm saying?
We can get Nahid to jump on the beat.
Friends are on me too.
What's studio, man?
What's this, huh? What's this?
Nahid with some. Come on.
But then at the same time, it's like I don't know. It's like as you said, like we will know about your dedication to sort of like your music and to this, and sort of like even the fact that this thought has come across your mind just sort of like speaks to your integrity as like an artist.
Yeah, definitely.
So, like, and at the end of the day, everything is usually subject to the court of public opinion. So, like, do you guys really see it as? Do you reckon it is possible? Like,
as in him being cancelled?
Yeah, like how much does it violate?
I don't think it does.
The thing is, I promise you, if someone did try and come for you, like I'm riding out for you. There's no way, because you've been so like transparent about everything from the start. And that's something that like I think a lot of people definitely overlook, especially as like, and not necessarily as a bad thing. I think as a young person, these are things that you just might miss out on, especially if you've not like, you're aware of that, you've addressed it from the start, and then it's clear that you just vibing in it.
Man, the fact that I called Wale onto the podcast to speak about it shows that I appreciate it. Definitely, man.
But yeah, do you know what? We'll see in it. I think one thing I do want to do though is if it does come to like sampling stuff, or even some stuff is long, because I even tried to get the songs on Spotify in it. So I even emailed like Sony India and what's it, Eros International. T Series.
That's the one.
Obviously, them are not budging in it. But like,
what did the reply say? Did you?
So do you know what Sony?
I'm actually surprised did they not reply?
Sony replied up until he was like, I'm a contact the Indian representative of like Sony, and
that's crazy.
From then it was and I think T Series and I think one of them did actually reply, but I think after that reply they didn't reply. Right. And one of them just didn't reply. So I was like, do you know what, YouTube? Even I tried to put it on SoundCloud as well, and as soon as Gina came out in it, copyright strike. I said it's alright. I said it's alright, but what I do want to do is I would love to be able to work with South Asian artists.
Definitely.
And like, because there's even like one. Do you remember the beat that was on Snapchat? Do you remember it? And you were like, oh, this is hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, like even things like that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like just be able to find out self-interest singers and stuff.
Definitely.
So, yeah.
It's a matter of time, innit? It's just
patience.
Yeah, after we're done filming, I'll actually hit you up with a few people that I know, some of my friends that
honestly, yeah, like
up and coming South Asian artists. Yeah.
I would love to. I would love to, like, yeah, but yeah, that's
Coming back to the process of like the production and like marketing and stuff, like the entire. So, what would your tips be for like an upcoming artist just like yourself? So it's like from the production point of view to the advertising of like the previews to the marketing of it. And then how to capitalize on maximizing your streams and stuff. So
I am not expert, do you know what I'm saying? Because I think marketing has been my weak point. Like the music, I don't think is my weak point. Is the marketing's my weak point, yeah. But from what I've learned, I would say when it comes to the marketing, from production, that's a whole other thing, innit? When it comes to the marketing, I would say the best thing to do is two things. First thing is think of the most ideal video, whatever it is you would like, and see how close you can get to that. Because I think it's very easy before you've even started to like catch yourself like, oh, I couldn't find a videographer for this, or I couldn't find a location like that. But it's like, try. Because sometimes you can surprise yourself by how far you can get, or how much, even be surprised by like how little you have to pay. Not saying you should come and free ride everyone, but if you haven't got the money, if you ask someone and they see the vision, they may be happy to help. Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying? Or you may have friends that know friends, people that know people, do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's like, I think this is what my brother even says to me, but he's like always think of like your dream vision and just see how close you can get to that. Do you know what I'm saying? And the second thing would be try to have everything done before you start the rollout. Because I've been in many situations where like I pick a date, but then 2 weeks to the date I haven't even done the album cover, and now I'm rushing to put things out, and it's like with marketing these days, especially when you're competing with like 5 million people making music, right? I think exposure is key. Like people seeing your face and they keep seeing, oh wait, I saw that guy before. Oh wait, isn't that guy that was on the billboard? Oh wait, isn't that? Do you know what I'm saying? Because I think sometimes it takes a lot of time for someone to actually click on the music. Right. So having a long process where you can keep constantly expose yourself, show your personality, music videos, things like that, I think helps. You know, and then once you drop it, people can find it annoying to like promote yourself shamelessly, but do it. Like Definitely. All your friends tell them, can you listen to the song? Can you share it? Because like, really and truly, people are busy, you know. And unless your song is the hottest thing if it's dropped, people aren't gonna reshare it off their own accord. Even when Kendrick Lamar drops stuff, people don't reshare it off their own accord like that. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's like use the people around you. You know, Rome wasn't built in a day. You know, it takes a village to raise a child. All these things. So I would say like definitely leverage the people around you. When it comes to the marketing side, I think that's what I would say.
Do you think your degrees helped you learn anything about that sort of marketing, improve that side of things?
Do you know, not really, because
this is exactly what I was thinking. Like, in terms of like how you've gone about everything, what we sort of like understood today on the podcast, that you've got sort of like found out this methodical way of going about things amidst the chaos that is education, secondary school, So I'm just thinking, has it ever sort of like crossed your mind whether like just fully like maybe the possibility of it constraining you in some sense, so if you stopped you from fully dedicating yourself to music or anything?
Or isn't that my degree? Yeah, facts. Like facts. Like listen, when they tell you that like you can just do it on the site, it's a myth. It's a myth. I think maybe it's not for some people. You know, because for example, like I have a friend called Elena, Dream by Elena, the knitted dresses. If you've seen that, she's doing quite well.
I've seen that.
So it's like it is possible, right? But I think the thing for me is that like for me, I'm not always in a creative space. I'm not always in a creative mindset. Do you know what I'm saying? And the thing that I think bothers me most about uni currently is that it stops me from getting into that mindset. Do you know what I'm saying? So for example, I might not even have that many lectures a day or readings to do in it, but when I know that I always have readings and lectures to do, I can't dedicate time to music like that, or I find it hard to.
Definitely.
Do you know what I'm saying? So for me, it's definitely doing that. And I think what makes it hard as well is that because of that, like, things just happen so slowly, you know. Like I have so many voice memos of ideas I had in the shower. I've got so many unfinished beats, so many lyrics. Like, bro, like I've got material for days, but putting it down is hard because to put it down, I have to dedicate time to doing that.
It's also the quality, right? Because I'm sure you've set like a set quality that you want to hit every single time with your work. It's just like you have all the content there, but then obviously the time is the constraint, right? To get all of it collected and reach that same quality that you want to reach.
It is quite difficult. So I'm excited to graduate because I feel like I'll actually be able to, focus on it.
Yeah.
Obviously, I won't say full time because I need money. I'll have to. Do you know what I'm saying? Until the music can take.
Until the music blows.
You know what I'm saying? But I think it definitely does like put a block on how much mental energy you can dedicate to these things and just thinking about it, having ideas, So definitely. But I think I didn't realize it in the first year because my vision was quite small. But now, like the more I know I need to achieve, the more things I know I need to do, the more I realize I can't do it, sort of thing. So, yeah.
Would you say like, have you faced like setbacks that have pushed you back or like made you wonder that should I quit music completely?
Do you know what? So I think not anything to make me wonder that because I've loved music for so long and I realized during the sixth form, during the whole engineering thingy that there was no other career that I could imagine being happy doing.
Yeah.
So from that alone, it was like, if I quit music to do what?
Yeah.
Like, do you get what I mean? Like, but I remember there was one setback in it where, so do you guys know who Don E Music is?
Yeah.
Donny Music.
Yeah, I don't know. She good, yeah. You want?
Oh yeah.
So he was doing Instagram lives, innit? And I must have jumped on. I got booed off, fam.
Swear.
I got booed off. Like it was paid. Like it was hashtag paid.
Man.
Yeah, because I've got this one song called Black is Beautiful in it on my SoundCloud.
Yeah.
And I tried to do that one, right? And yeah, I just got booed off.
Right, he's not
Damn.
Yeah, like it was peak, bro.
Yeah.
But obviously, I think from that I learned two things. One was that when people don't know you, you only have so long to impress them.
Yeah.
Right.
And I just think that's just the way of life. Do you know what I'm saying? Like once you are J. Cole, you can have a song with a 5-minute intro. Do you know what I'm saying? When you're Skepta, have you guys heard that Skepta song? What's it called? Still? And it's like the instrument's like do 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 do.
No, I can't say.
Anyway, you've got one song in it. That song has like a 2-minute intro. Just the beat for like 2 minutes. And it even says, "I know what. I waited for you, man. You're not gonna wait for me." Do you know what I'm saying? But when you're Skepta, you can do that. Do you know what I'm saying? 'Cause people already have an expectation. When they don't know you, you can't have a song with 2-minute intro.
Definitely.
So I think that's first thing I learned. But the second thing I learned as well was that I don't have to appeal to everyone. Because the music that I make, even though my music isn't like, I'm not telling the creator, he's popping nowadays, so I can't even say anymore. Like, I'm not making some super niche thing, right? But my music isn't going to appeal to everyone. Like if the music you love to listen to is AJ Tracy and Mist all the time, my music isn't always going to appeal to you, and I think that's okay. But then what I realized is that now going onto Instagram Live that appeals to music. It appeals to people who listen to music like that, and they're doing draw freestyles and all that sort of thing. Yeah, why am I there? I'm not that artist, So I realized that like getting validation or invalidation only matters if it's from the right people.
Yeah.
And I think it's important to have people around you that understand where you're trying to go. Because sometimes I get people like I put music previews on my Snapchat sometimes, right? And sometimes I get people like, no, it's hard, innit? But I think you should like go harder, or like I think you should do this, I think you should do that. And it's like, what artist do you think I am? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, 'cause sometimes it's valuable, but sometimes it's like you think that good music sounds like flipping what's Digga D. Do you know what I'm saying? And when I don't make that, you're like, but you should get closer to that. But why? Because I'm not trying to be there, And sometimes it's hard because if you've got people around you that all have a vision that's not yours, you can get feedback that doesn't.
It's twisted, doesn't it? Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
How do you maintain the balance? Because like obviously, coming back to what Yasin said, it's like, but when you talk about art, in the form of music, paintings, whatever, it's like it is your expression, but at the same time you want to do it so that it appeals to people, right? So then how do you maintain the balance of
that
public opinion plus your opinion, right?
Do you know what? I think there's two things. There's one half of it which is your own internal evaluation system, right? Because, and this is sort of like an offshoot, but I think it matters, right? Because I don't know what it is that dictates these things, right? But there are some people that don't hear when their own music is whack, right? And I'm not even like your music is like my music isn't ting, right? But it's like I remember reading somewhere that was like there's like a green zone where it's like your ear for your own music rises as your ability rises. Do you know what I'm saying? So if your skill is 0 but your ear's 100, you're never gonna pursue it because you just think you're whack. Whereas if your skill is 0, if your skill is 0 but your ear is also 0, you think you're amazing. Do you know what I'm saying? And you can't really improve because you think you're already there.
Yeah.
In my case, I think I'm lucky in that my ear is always just a bit higher than my skill. So
Right.
like when I made music 2 years ago, I thought it was sick. Now I'm like, that's whack. But at the time, I thought it was sick enough to still put myself out there and be confident with it. Do you know what I'm saying? And do you know what I'm saying? So I think that's the first part. I don't know how people get that, but it's important to be able to hear your own music because then you know what I'm saying?
So you should be a critique of your own work, right?
You know what I'm saying? And not be too critical, but also know when it sounds like trash.
Yeah.
But I think the second thing is when it comes to the whole balancing that is, honestly, I don't know. I think there's one thing that my brother says, and he says, like, apparently it's a phrase in the corporate world, which is nobody knows anything. Just like people can tell you something doesn't work until it works.
Yeah, literally.
Like Tyler the Creator, for example, like back in the day, even to this day, to be fair, his beats are out of time. The guy makes beats that are out of time. Like, and yeah, like, oh, look, Jay Dilla did it, but no. Tyler the Creator makes beats that are out of time, and they sound bare jazzy, and sometimes the bass note isn't the right note. But it works.
Yeah,
You just gotta keep on doing your thing, and then when it works, someone will hear it, and it's because with music, it's very like what's
Subjective.
Subjective. Very subjective. Yeah.
So it's like you put out whatever.
Just pure opinions.
Yeah, it's pure opinions. So like you put out whatever you want, what you like to make, and hopefully the idea is someone out there likes it. And there will always be someone. It's just about how you market it,
even how you
get out there, how you find them. So
because it's like, I'm pretty sure if Tyler Creator didn't find people that like his stuff, he might have stopped making it.
Yeah.
I don't know how to answer that part of it, but I do think that
with time, naturally, you just meet more and more people.
Yeah,
I think it's
and
like,
quality.
More and more people.
Yeah.
But when it comes to public opinion, what would you say? Like, how do you deal with like haters and stuff? Obviously, you got.
So I don't get haters currently. I don't think I'm big enough for that. So I'm easy sailing right now. I do get people that give like critical feedback when I didn't ask for it. You know, sometimes it's like, come on, man, shut up, man. You know, but I actually don't get haters. I think I don't know what my brand looks like. I don't know what I come across like on my Instagram. I don't know. Like I just do me in it. But from what I've been told, I just seem like a nice guy that makes music.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying? So I think because of that, like, and I don't do much. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not even that big, so it's like I don't think anyone has a reason to be like, oh, what am I doing? So luckily, I haven't had that. Maybe I will at some point. You know, we'll see. Probably just the world we live in. But currently, like, it's just been good feedback, really and truly, which is ironic because, like, among all the good feedback I get in it, I still sometimes think, oh, is my music even that good? Like, do people really listen to it? Like, obviously the evidence would say that they probably do. But yeah, like it's like right now it's easy sailing. Like,
that's good, man. That's good.
I think as time goes on, especially as you get a bit older, you come into a bit more money. You can invest a bit more into it. Like you said, you want to get into music video. Music videos are expensive, man. Stupidly expensive. So it's like with time, you get a bit more capital. You invest into it.
And I feel like, and that's the thing. I feel like one thing I do believe in is that once I have the time and the resources to invest in music properly, the growth will be a lot quicker than
it's exponential, isn't it?
Because I can pay for promotion, I can pay for like the Instagram ads, I can pay for video. Do you get what I mean? Like right now I can't do that. I am paying to be here. It's not paying me. I'm not getting paid to just, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, but I think that's the hope. That's you know, because I feel like my music isn't. I don't think my music's bad. I think my music is good.
Your music's great, bro.
It's almost like the traffic industry. It's sort of like you demand time to sort of like find yourself as an artist and sort of like develop those skills. Yeah. In that time, you also need to monetize. Of course. And then that's when sort of like the public opinion comes into it, and sort of where does it stop? But sort of being on the outside looking in and looking at your brand, I think one of the main things that always admired your music, especially, is you can just hear the quality is just miles above a lot of other people. You can tell you've taken your time. You tell all of that. So just
it's miles above. It's miles above. Like, genuinely, would you consider yourself? So,
I appreciate it.
Based on like the audience you have right now, I would say you're just in the scene, coming up. You're gonna blow, due to blow. So, but the quality of your music sounds as if you're already blown up, as if you're already a professional there. Even though on face value you may be an amateur, the numbers might say you're an amateur, but the quality of your sound makes you sound like professional. So professional.
The production's amazing, honestly.
Really also, on the question of like the monetary aspect of it, so it's like I've read a lot about so many artists complaining about how Spotify underpays them, and I don't know whether Apple Music does the same.
Yeah, all of them.
So
Yeah,
what do you think is actually the best platform to get your work out?
So
For monetary value, obviously, yeah.
So for monetary value, I would say Bandcamp, because Bandcamp people
What's that? Bandcamp.
Yeah, so it's
I've not heard of that.
That's the thing. So like this is why it's like a double-edged thing, right? Because it's a very niche platform, but obviously niche platforms tend to have very strong people, like strong fan bases. So it's like but on Bandcamp you pay. Usually people like pay what? No, that's a lie. There's like two ways of doing it, which is like people who like do a lot of sample-based productions, like future funk or like sample-based stuff. They will do like a name your price thingy, so you can get it for free, but you can also donate money if you're like, oh, I really appreciate this, I'm gonna give them £5, and sometimes you actually get quite a lot from that. And also people actually just sell the music on there, so like £8 for an album, but the music goes essentially directly to the artist, sort of thing. And then you buy the album, you have the album. So it's like a very like keeping the old-fashioned way of doing things, right?
Yeah.
So I'll say that, but beyond that, from what I know, it's actually just merchandise and tours. I think that's why artists don't tour so obviously COVID, but before that, like artists tour so much now because streams.
Before you even get the album out, announce a tour. Yeah,
do you know what I'm saying? Because that's the way you get the money now. You know, like if the streams don't do nothing for you, or at least not enough. You know, so I think the way that I see the money coming in. Let's say for a rapper, no producing, just rapping, right? I would say that try to build. Okay, that's a discussion on how to do that, but try to build a strong fan base as quickly as you can, so that you can start doing shows as quickly as you can to get the experience of doing that. You get used to that whole way of doing things, because that will be your main income for very long, forever, to be honest. Because as the shows get bigger, the income gets bigger. You know, the streams, they're great and they're great, but shows, you know, you can, like, even if you do a show of 150 people, that's still the show.
Have you done any live shows?
I've done like 2.
I was at one, I'm pretty sure.
You had one?
It was last year. We were there, right?
The open mic.
Open mic.
It was like 60 people.
As in the Hip Society one.
Yeah.
I mean, there's also count. I forgot about this. So I'm even thinking of like a class.
Small fish.
Do you know what I mean? No, do you know what? I actually love doing it. Do you know what I'm saying? Because it gave people a spotlight and that. You know, like when I was president. Anyway. But yes, I've done a few, but nothing either recent, so it reflects my current artistry, or big. If that makes sense.
Right.
I've done a few open mics. I don't really like doing them as much because I feel like I don't like, and maybe I need to get over it. You know what I'm saying? But I don't like auditioning. Does that make sense? You know, I'm like, because especially because open mics, they tend to not know me in it, so I don't like. Especially because like, really and truly, like, there are many people in this, for example, in this London that love people like Snow Allegra and Giveon and whatever, Ravina, right? But if you go to a random open mic, they're gonna want Digga D. Do you get what I'm saying? They're gonna want what's popping. So it's like, and I don't make that. So I've been at so many open mics where I do my music, and my music is good, but they want what they want. Do you know what I'm saying? And I feel like open mics, I can never gauge what they want, so I don't really enjoy doing those anymore.
But do you think, like, in future times, would you say, like, when it came to performing music, like, how, even though it was a smaller crowd, do you feel like any nerves, and how did you overcome those nerves?
Do you know, I do feel nerves, but I think I enjoy it.
Yeah,
I think that's the thing. I think when, especially when you can see the crowd enjoying it. If they're sitting like dead ducks in it, it's long. It's very, very long, because you didn't even know how to what energy you might have off is mad in it. But I think if like because that's a lie. When I know the words off by heart, you just know off by heart. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And even funny enough, so I even when I give advice to other rappers, whatever, I always say that even when you're recording it, learn the lyrics off by heart, because then you can spend less CPU thinking about what you're saying and more on the expression, on the, you know what I'm saying, or having fun with it, because it comes through in the voice, innit? So I feel like when I know it off by heart, like, I can have fun, and usually it doesn't mess up. I don't, you know, I just don't happen to, you know, get like stage fright like that, which is, you know, lucky. But yeah,
that's a good thing, actually.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully we see your music blow up. I'm praying for that.
Hopefully.
And hopefully we can get you back on, like later on with your Grammys. You'll be saying with your Grammys.
What's that?
Oh, it's out there.
Hopefully by then, off topic would have blown up. Oh yeah,
it's got to bring each other. Do you know what I mean?
Definitely.
But yeah, man. Like I think one thing I always hope for is that, because like it's very easy to say, oh, you know, like let's say it's a given that I'm going to blow in it. It's very easy to be like, oh, you know, when I get the money, I'll be the same. But everyone changes. So clearly it's not as simple as just thinking, you know, I'm pretty sure every parent thinks I'm going to be a great parent and then they're emotionally distant. You know, that happens. But I do want to keep myself grounded. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, again, I'm not big. It's not like I'm meeting people who want to be my friend because I'm popping. Yeah, so like I don't have to think about that. But like I do want to be the kind of person that's like, yeah, I'm big or whatever. Yeah, I guess I'm getting money, but my priorities are still in check. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
Sorry, but I think. Actually, no, carry on.
Oh yeah, I just like to. You know what I'm saying? Because even like, because obviously this is another thing in it. But even when it comes to like my political views, right? It's like really and truly like I currently don't even see the value in like, for example, spending 24 mil to put a diamond in your forehead in it. Do you know what I mean? Because it's like I've seen so many people. I have so many friends who can't even ask their mum for £20. Do you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, I'm putting 24 mil in my forehead. It's like I don't want to get so disconnected from the real world in it. So
definitely.
Do you know what? I think a big part of it is like the people around you. 'Cause I think the big thing is with especially like a lot of rappers, etc. From the culture that you see is they leave sort of.
They leave the hood and don't come back.
Yeah, they leave the environment.
Say you forget about your, because you get to see that much money, right?
Yeah.
And you're exposed to that much money at such a quick time because it's such an influx of money and streams and fame and everything comes. And that's like I wouldn't say it's a problem, but
it can do a lot.
Yeah, it can do a lot, and it can send you in a really bad direction.
Yeah,
if you do end up with a lot of bad people,
having like a strong group of friends around you,
definitely
people who tell you how it is, like it really does keep you grounded. Especially when you look at like you compare like a lot of rappers.
Yeah.
Some man, like for example Nipsey Hussle, he was about his shit. He stayed with the same man, like from that he grew up with. He didn't really change, and then so you can see it the last time.
Yeah, definitely.
I remember even saw an interview with Nav. Yeah, and he was talking about how like the fame came so quickly and he was just bugging the time and he had to like recenter himself.
Yeah, he blew up very quickly.
Very quick.
Very quick.
But yes, I just hope so. You know, like my mum's got a mortgage I want to pay. You got to pay off. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I've got friends that like could do with things that they may need, and like I would love to just be able to like actually be a practical blessing.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
Rather than spend 24 mil on my forehead. You know, things like that. Because I remember like one time I was even walking down Edgware Road. And obviously, like, you see bare sweaters costing however many Ks. You see Ferraris, this and that.
And this.
Do you know what I'm saying? It's like, raw, like people are struggling to pay rent in some places.
Yeah.
But you know, you're here buying. I'm not bashing the people. Do you know what I'm saying? Because like we live in the system we live in. But it's like I would just like to be able to not get so disconnected.
Yeah.
That I forget that there are people which. You know, the 5K that I'm going to put in my daughter's earrings could actually change someone's life.
Definitely.
Do you know what I'm
it's
saying?
about being humble, right? And remembering where you've come from.
Yeah.
Your grassroots and stuff like that.
You know
the journey, right, from where you started to where you are now. It's just about remembering it. But yeah, I think we have 5 minutes left. So, definitely. It does go by quick. But I have two questions, really, two interesting questions. You can answer them separately. But if you had to work with an artist as a feature, or you are a feature on their song, which artist would you pick? And then second question is, who's your like the GOAT for you in music?
If I had to feature with an artist,
Dead or alive?
It doesn't matter. Whoever, whichever.
Do you know what? Oh damn. Okay. I haven't thought about this in a while, to be honest.
It is a tough question.
Do you know what? I think the first thing that comes to my mind is Smino.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the kind of vibe in which he goes for a lot of time, I feel like his inspirations are kind of similar to mine.
Yeah.
So I feel like it'd be very fun to just work with him and his producer, which is like two people, I guess. But him and Monte Booker in it, I just love them. Like I just feel it would be great. And all time goes. So this is hard, isn't it? Because obviously
this is gonna spark debate.
I'm not even too controversial in it.
Yeah.
Because it's like on one hand, it's like my rapping. So my main inspiration when I was learning to rap was J. Cole. Do you know what I'm saying? That J. Cole was me in it. Do you know what I'm saying? Which is Yeah, which is why I rap the way I do, because I feel like if my first inspiration was like, I don't know, like, what's his name? Chief Keef, innit? I'll be rapping different. Or if my first inspiration was like Future, I'll be rapping different. But it's just J. Cole, do you know what I'm saying? So, but then at the same time, he's not my favorite rapper anymore. I don't even have a favorite rapper, to be fair. Production side, like, I listen to Bear Whitney Houston, but I can't come and say that I need to make as my goat. Like, do you know what I mean? It's not going to satisfy the answer. Do you know what I'm saying? The question, but go.
Make it easier. It's like, let's say you could only listen to one artist for the rest of your life.
You choose
Which one are you picking? Yeah.
For the rest of my life, I'll have to choose Drake. I can't lie.
Yeah, I think we came to the exact.
Let's go.
He's just got such a massive discography.
Of great music. Do you know what I mean? Like, you want the rap stuff, you want the chill stuff, you want the slow stuff. Like,
Bro,
he's got it all, bro.
He does it all.
Do you know? I think when people try to say, "Oh, I don't like Drake," you just hate her because how can you dislike Drake? Like, he actually make, like, I know music. Do you know what? Off the cam minute, we're gonna talk about this. But it's
I said on the camera. That's a couple words to get out. Hold on, like that.
But
I'm a Drake stan, like huge Drake stan.
Yeah, like, he deserves it. I think recently, I feel like one thing which is sort of bothering me is I feel like he's gone from being a pioneer to like just a great exporter of music. So I feel like back in the day, like, he would make music which was like, this is crazy, like, this is so Drake. Nowadays, it's like he just makes high quality rap music or high quality music. That's
commercialization, isn't
it?
Yeah.
Our thoughts about it aren't that different.
Do you get what I'm saying? So like his recent music I haven't listened to. I can't lie. Like the last music the last album I listened to properly, I think was it Views?
Views was 2017.
What was the one that came after that?
More Life.
More Life.
2018. Yeah.
There was a dual one that came out. The one with like
What Time to Be Alive? No. What was Future's album?
Oh, no,
Future.
No, it's like the one. It was like In My Feeling.
Yeah, that was What Time to Be Alive.
That one.
Yeah, so isn't that the one that's like black and white?
Yeah.
So that was the last. No, so the last album that I listened to probably was before that album.
Oh,
so when it came to
Scorpion.
So when it came to the album,
Scorpion was
like,
2018. My bad.
I don't know. And then all these other albums, like the album of the Like thing came out. I haven't listened to that.
Dark Lane.
You know what? Yeah, like
it's a banging album, by the way.
Drake nowadays,
listen to it, yeah.
he's an asset, and he's he's the industry's just sort of cow, isn't he?
Do you think Drake's like so you said Drake, you considered him a pioneer, but you don't think he is anymore?
From what I hear of him, I don't think he pioneers in the same way he used to.
Really?
I don't. Yeah, I feel like he makes great music, but I don't get the sense of this is something I can't find anywhere else.
So who do you think is the a pioneer for our generation of music?
Like
currently?
Oh.
Future and Lil Baby.
Definitely not Future, bro.
No, I think it's like in terms of like mumble rap and stuff, like Future's Future.
Everyone's made mumble rap like 3 years ago, and he basically started trap.
You sure? Yeah, trap music.
Do you know what? I'll give him that. I don't know about chopping it, but I'll give him that.
Like, him and DJ Esco like good.
Yeah,
just even like Young Thug, I'll give them the props when it's due in it.
Yeah.
But Pioneer today, like, what music do I even listen? Pioneer today, to be honest, I think the only one that I
Big Sean. No, I'm joking.
Honestly, the only one that can come to mind is Tyler Creator, but I haven't listened to much new music recently.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, what music? Like, Throw Baby, none of them. I wouldn't say are pioneers. Meg Thee Stallion. I can't think of an artist currently that I think is doing something new in the rap sphere.
Do you think that's more to do with where the industry's going rather than what which is affecting sort of like the content that is coming up?
I think it has something to do with it. Because I feel like as attention spans get smaller, people just want like the next catchy thing. Yeah. I feel like music is less about music. No, I think many music fans nowadays aren't lovers of music, but they're lovers of things which are proxy to music. So they might love like the energy you get when you listen to trap. They might love the mosh pit, so they might love the bars, so to speak, but they don't love the art of music. Do you know what I'm saying? So I feel like because of that, there's less musicality in music we listen to. So like, for example, like back in the day, like I think I'm not even like an old music was better person. I'm not, right? But it's like, I feel like back in the day, it was like how can I put it? Like,
it was purely for the music. Is that what
it's more so? Do you get what I'm saying? And I feel like gradually it got more just about like just other things per se that are involved in music, but not necessarily the musicality, if that makes sense, right? But yeah, so it's like even like what's it like? There's a TikTok, right? There's so many songs now where it's like it sounds like they're capitalizing on the format of TikTok and like the dances and the catchiness, and it's like that's great, that's the way the world is, but what that leads to is so many people doing the same thing or doing similar things, you know. And I feel like because of that, and because rap is now the most popular genre, like like rap is the pop currently in a way. Pop music is a very boxy thing to be in because it's just dictated by what people want next. If they want dances next, you have to do dancey rap music. If they want this next, you have to do that kind of thing. So I do think it's like influenced by that, but I do think you get people which are sort of outside that, and manage to create their own sort of spheres of things. Pioneer. Yeah. One person I do like the current, I do like seeing them doing their thing is Slow Tie.
Okay.
I'm very happy to see him doing his thing. Just kid from Northampton doing his thing, like, because even in the way he raps and stuff, like he doesn't try to like when he raps, you can tell the way he talks.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? Like even just the way he says things, he doesn't always cut it up and make sure it's in time and this and that. But I just like it because
we think he's mid. Like
yeah.
Slow Tie.
No, I like it.
Oh, he left. He
Right.
under the bus.
Like that.
But I think he's a bit white.
Maybe,
You listen to
think
him?
he's white, like he blue.
Do you know what it is?
That's definitely, but that is something we have agreed on. The industry push, which has come out of nowhere, especially when he's done some questions.
Yeah, he does some very questionable things.
No,
He like.
I think the music awards.
Yeah, he said some.
Oh yeah, I saw that video of him being drunk on stage.
And it
And
was just crazy how
With the
he
host.
just rebounded off of that. And
Yeah.
is now
Yeah,
just,
yeah.
like,
He's the
it
face
looks
of
like
Burberry, these big
the budget
brands.
for his videos
Yeah.
went up, the budget.
Yeah.
He just made a song with ASAP Rocky, didn't he?
I think he got two songs with
But
ASAP.
but yeah, no, I've liked Slow Tie
Yeah.
for a long time.
Do you know what? I feel like this might be a conversation for off the for you because you said 5 minutes ago, like 10 minutes ago.
nah, it's fine. You can have a
But I do feel like one thing I feel like I think people love to think of music in a very narrow way, which doesn't apply to the way music is nowadays, right? So, for example, people be like, "Oh, Drake ain't even that good," right? No. Let's say you have a rapper which chooses very good beats, like he's not even that good. The beats carry him, but it's like okay, but everyone else had the opportunity to pick that beat. No one picked it. It was him that picked the beat.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? So obviously that credit has to be to him. He didn't make the beat, but he picked the beat. The way he wrote the beat was him. Do you know what I'm saying? Even the music videos, for example, So Tired, he's not the best lyrical rapper. No one thinks that.